Hi, welcome to the Whisky Guy. I just want to talk quickly today about Ardbeg 10. Try and get it in shot there. Can you see that? Ardbeg 10-year-old. So this is a standard expression. Now I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Ardbeg. If you're not, it's a very heavily peated Islay whiskey. The distillery was closed in the late 70s, early 80s, and it was saved by the Glenmorangie Company in 1997. Now this year they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of being up and functioning and running properly. The distillery's gone. They've got their standard expression back, which was the 10-year-old. Before that, they released a 6-year-old called the Very Young, a 7-year-old, which was the Still, and then it went on to the Almost, which was 9. They did the Ardbeg more, and then you got the 10. And it's been a bit of a journey for them, and I think they describe it as a roller coaster ride. And as a part of that, they've released the roller coaster whiskey and some other bits. Ardbeg's hugely collectible, and I'm sure I'm preaching to a lot of converted, but for those who are new to it, here's my taste notes. Okay, so the whiskey itself, on the nose, this is actually quite it's an extremely approachable dram. It's at 46% ABV, and it smells sweet. It hasn't got that huge peaty hit that you get with some things like Lefroy, but it's got more citrus, more balance, a little bit more peach. It develops nicely as it sits. You're getting a little bit of like banana. It always makes me think of a Weiss beer. There's something about Ardbeg that just makes me think of a really good Weiss beer, and maybe that's why it's so big with a lot of Germans and Scandinavians, because it's got that beery element to it. But that isn't meant as anything disrespectful to the guys at the distillery. At the end of the day, whiskey's made with beer. It's concentrated using stills, and then it goes in at wood, and the wood brings another element to this, which is the nuttiness, a little bit of samphire, and some of the other elements of the whiskey that we'll get on the palate. So give it a taste. Okay, so this is hitting the front of my mouth, and partly due to the design of the tasting glass I use, I'm getting this nice sweetness on the front, and then it just sweeps backwards, and I'm getting a little bit of tinder. That banana comes through, and then there's a little bit of cream, some butter, and then more importantly there's chocolate. And it's just like a medium cacao chocolate that just washes across the back section of your palate. It's a little bit warm, and that develops around about now. It's starting to kick in. It's got this little bit of smokiness, and every time I'm doing that and breathing in, I'm getting this little wave of smoke coming in. Now this is at 50 parts per million phenol, so it's actually quite high on the peat level. As a standard expression, this is the highest. I think Kilchoman also do 50, but they're very young in distilling sense, whereas Ardbeg had been around a lot longer and had always operated in this phenol level, so this is their standard sort of peatiness. Now, you have got Octomore and Supernova and all these other things that are peatier, but for standard whiskey, this is at the top of the range. It's super, super smoky, but it's balanced, and I think that's the important thing. You come to something, and this isn't a go at any other Islay distilleries. You come to a lot of them, and they've got this huge sort of smokiness with the spice, and it bites at your tongue. This doesn't have that. It's got this nice wash. The chocolate, the cream drops back. I'm actually starting to get a little bit of tobacco coming in now. It'll sit in the glass and develop, and I think, you're an Ardbeg person or you're not. It's as simple as that. It's a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And I'm in the love it crowd. So I just have to say well done to the guys at Ardbeg. If you're an Ardbeg committee member, 10 celebrations. They've got all the stuff going on Twitter. You need to get your tickets quick because they're going to go if they haven't already gone. And I'll be there. I'll be videoing. So, keep yourselves passionate and spirited, and happy 10th anniversary to Ardbeg.